Good afternoon, I'm Val Lego.
And I'm Nate Bell. Juliet and Kirk have the night off. 13 on your side at 5 starts right now.
You're watching 13 on your side.
And we start this afternoon with the latest on the investigation into the police killing of Patrick Lyoya in Grand Rapids. The Kent County Prosecutor's Office tells us that Michigan State Police have not yet turned over the investigation. Until the officer is charged, his name will not be released.
Now, that's something that demonstrators continue to call for as they gather in downtown Grand Rapids for a fourth straight night. That's where you find 13 on your side's Justin Bachman. Justin, how are things looking out there?
Hey, Nate, Val, we are not seeing a big crowd gathered just yet. Let's take a look. We have seen some people coming down. We're seeing people with signs. We are seeing some gathered here, but not anywhere near the size of the crowd we saw already in the past couple of days of these marches and these gatherings. But one thing that we are seeing, if we take a look right now to our left, is flags. People driving by with flags that say BLM. We've also seen that Grand Rapids City truck that was leading those marches to help guide the direction and help clear the streets ahead. Now, earlier today, we did speak with some faith leaders, some pastors in the community, and they touched on what these marches have meant. And they say that the process of healing, especially as we lead into this weekend of Easter, is going to be difficult, but the fight and these marches and these protests fighting for justice will make that process a little easier.
I also believe that our legal teams that are in place with the Lyoya family will help guide us as we guide the churches spiritually. They'll help guide us legislatively and legally. And if we put those things together, I think healing will be much better.
Healing certainly what this community is looking for, as well as they are looking for justice. We are seeing, again, if we take a look again to that street, that truck driving by in preparation for a large crowd to gather. We're not sure how many people will be coming out tonight, but as the crowd gathers and as that event takes place, we will keep bringing you updates. But for now, the Rosa Parks Circle, I'm Justin Bachman, 13 on your side.
All right, thank you, Justin. And students at Michigan State University's College of Human Medicine marched through Grand Rapids today, calling for justice for Patrick Lyoya. In a statement, the college said it's important to stand by its friends and colleagues following the tragic loss of Patrick. The students say they hope by marching they can take a stance and advocate for a more equitable future for all.
I really appreciated how the school allowed us to take a minute to stop and look outside and see what's happening in our world, specifically the world of a lot of black people here in America. So showing that the school cares, our allies here care, we can't keep studying through this. We have to address it here.
Students we talked to say the biggest takeaway from this tragedy is to be an ally and participate in local community activism.
Grand Rapids City Manager Mark Washington released a statement this afternoon saying that he expects more protests and marches in the coming days. And the city supports residents exercising their First Amendment rights. He said that activists, community leaders, and the family of Patrick Lyoya continue to call for calm and peace. Washington also reminded people that if they're traveling downtown, to plan ahead for potential detours or traffic delays.
And Ben Crump, who's representing the Lyoya family, is renewing the call for federal police reform.
Well, he did this during a news conference yesterday here in Grand Rapids. And 13 on your side's Carla Byron is in the newsroom with a deeper dive into what that reform could look like. Carla?
Nate, I talked with a Chicago-based attorney, Antonio Romanucci, who has worked with Crump to achieve state and federal police reform. Together, they wrote the white paper, which lays out what they call comprehensive police reform with the goal of removing the bad apples. To do that, they'd like to see the decertification of police officers accused of misconduct on or off duty, the licensing of police officers, a common curriculum in de-escalation training, and eliminating qualified immunity. The two attorneys also played a pivotal role in trying to get the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act passed. The act passed in the House in March 2021, but it stalled in the Senate.
We have to wonder if and when our president will maybe sign some executive orders bringing some of the agreed pieces of the George Floyd Police Reform Act into actual orders. So we're always hopeful for that possibility also.
The George Floyd Justice and Policing Act would have increased accountability for law enforcement misconduct and restricted the use of certain policing practices. And Romanucci says he can't divulge whether or not he's had any conversation with the White House or its staff. I'll have more on this important topic of nationwide police reform tonight at 6.
Well, as we learn more about the moments leading up to Patrick Lyoya's death, many have asked if there was a language barrier between the officer and Lyoya, and if Lyoya fully understood what was going on. A translator was at the press conference yesterday translating for Patrick Lyoya's parents, whose native language is Swahili. We asked Attorney Ben Crump and Kent County Commissioner Robert Womack about the language barrier and what an officer should do in these types of situations.
We know that Congolese community have been concerned about those things often, and we will continue to work with the leadership in their community and the leadership in Grand Rapids and others to make sure they understand the importance of the communication barriers.
They really need to hire more diverse officers in our community, especially minority officers, but they need to also have translators that they can call on backup for situations like this.
Womack says that immigrants may learn a new language but not completely understand it, which can cause confusion. We don't know if Patrick understood the officer's commands or not. The family's legal team will be looking into the possibility as they continue to call for justice.